What's up, foodie crew? Taquitos con Sabor de Chavarria in Eagle Pass is serving up some of the best birria tacos you can get in the city. And this stuff is incredible. This is a family-owned and operated restaurant. And Andres Chavarria, he is the son and owner of the spot. But you know they got the family working out there. And these birria tacos, everything made from scratch. They also have asada tacos out there, packed with flavor. That's that con sabor, right? These ones right here, I mean, the birria tacos loaded up with the cheese. You know it's just going to be goodness. This is Andres and his father, who gave him his last $1,000 he had saved up before he passed away for him to open up this food truck. It is a beautiful story, and they are doing amazing things out there. You can also get the elote, the corn in a cup. The asada tacos are rocking, all the flavor out there. It is just a wonderful spot to go check out. All the tortillas made fresh from the local tortilleria, and I tell you what, corn, flour, it doesn't matter which one you get. They're both delicious. They're also making lemonade from scratch. Get out to Eagle Pass and try these tacos.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Justin Horn with a quick check of your forecast. We're starting with just mostly cloudy skies this morning. We could see a shower or two this afternoon. We've got a ridge of high pressure actually on either side of us, but that means we'll get some unsettled weather across the middle part of the country, including here across South Texas this weekend. Not a ton of rain, we don't think, but there will be some scattered downpours here and there. And then by next week, high pressure does start to build in, and that means we'll see some quieter and hotter weather. Here's a quick check of the futurecast. And today, not much, maybe a stray shower or two. Tomorrow, there will be some active weather, especially across North Texas and West Texas. Some of that could drift a little bit closer to the hill country by tomorrow night. And we'll also see a
we, many beyond Kerrville, that the larger community in the state, in the nation, in the world, we are listening. Pain and sorrow and death does not have the last word, but goodness, truth, love, care, hope never dies.
Welcome to the news at noon. It has now been 1 week since the deadly flooding in the Hill Country. President Trump expected to arrive today at Lackland Air Force Base and head to Kerrville to see the damage for himself. You're looking at a live picture. Sarah Costa is out there at Lackland waiting for that arrival. And we know that this is going to be our big story of the day, Stephanie.
Yes, this is the first time that President Donald Trump has come to see the devastation in Kerr County. He did announce over the weekend when everything was happening that he did want to make a visit, but that he didn't want to get in the way. But he is here today with First Lady Melania Trump as well, and they will be getting a tour of all the damage and devastation there. And they initially were scheduled to be in that area about 12:20, so they may make it at that time.
Yeah, and it looks like this is their plane, I'm hearing. So they are just now landing on the ground in Lackland. So this is Air Force One that you're looking at. So great timing that we were able to get this up. Our Sarah Costa is out there and watching the president. There have been several instances, unfortunate events in our area where presidents have had to visit. And what they do is they land here. They take smaller aircraft into those smaller areas. We saw it with President Biden in Uvalde. And yeah, Sarah, I know, has been out there, and we've been waiting for that plane. And now we see Air Force One. Sarah, can you hear us?
Yes, Courtney, Steph, I can hear you. He just landed like right at noon on the dot. We are here off Groden Road, right off where 90 and 151 meet outside of Lackland. We're pretty far from the main entrance. We haven't seen a lot of security where we are, again, because we are far from that entrance. But what you're looking at is a very zoomed in shot of Air Force One on the tarmac at Lackland. That's the best viewpoint that we can give you from how far back we are outside of the gate. Of course, lots of security. We're here on Groden Road. Lots of looky-loos basically by us. You know, we're not seeing a lot of security, but just a lot of, you know, residents in San Antonio with their cameras, with their cell phones. We just wanted to try to get a glimpse as close as we could get to Air Force One as President Trump just landed in Lackland. So, you know, we basically, this is the best shot we could get. We see a pretty good view of the tarmac in the area with these C5s in distance. He is going to be getting on Marine One, that helicopter, once he gets off of Air Force One, and will be taking that ride to Marine One to Kerrville, which is about a 25-30 minute ride via helicopter. So Stephanie and Courtney, we are just keeping an eye on here again. Air Force One with President Trump and First Lady Melania just landed here at Lackland, and he will be heading to Kerrville probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes, getting on Marine One.
All right, Sarah, thank you for that live report. We'll be checking back with you throughout the day. And we do have team coverage that's new. We're going to start with this. We showed you this memorial yesterday. The colorful display honors the victims of this flood, and tonight it will be the site of a vigil. Our Erica Hernandez is live in downtown Kerrville at the memorial. And Erica, you've been able to talk to neighbors as they've walked up to pay their respects.
Sorry, there was an ambulance that just went by, but we've seen so many people that have come here to pay their respects and also to say prayers. What we're starting to see with a lot of those that are stopping by and that are here now is that they're just starting to realize that this is all setting in and how many laws that were really lost. The wall is put together by flowers and photos on a fence. Signs of Hill Country Strong also put up. We spoke to one longtime resident of Kerrville who has been dropping off courage lions to those in need, especially first responders and families grieving. We helped her put one up earlier, and she told us why she felt the need to be out here today.
I just keep thinking about all the people that have lost everything. And I know it sounds weird, but I keep thinking that I was in my bed listening to the pouring down rain while people were losing their lives in the river. And I'm having a hard time to get over.
Now, Mary says she hopes her Courage Lions help with the trauma and effects anyone may be coping with. Now, I found out this little girl here who you're seeing is Emmy. She went to Bulverde Creek Elementary in San Antonio. She and her grandparents, who are also pictured here, had been staying in a cabin in Hunt and had been missing for days. We were told yesterday evening that all three have now been found. A vigil will be held later this evening, not only to remember Emmy and her grandparents, but all the lives that have been lost and those who are still missing. That will be at 7 p.m. this evening. We will have continued coverage of that vigil later this evening. Live in Kerrville, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Erica. So many beautiful faces, and we will be honoring each and every one of them as we are able. Right now, let's look outside with live cam. I've been out there. It is humid. It is hot. But the good news is that we have had some clearing in the rain. I know that means a lot to the first responders, even though they are dealing with some heat issues.
Yes, very much so. Just yesterday and for most of today, we'll continue to see some drier conditions. That returns next week, but we are tracking more potential for some rain this weekend, sadly, and especially in areas of the hill country. This is currently on authority radar where we're tracking the potential for some rain. Right now, it's still very light, but that's why we have about a 10% chance of some rain today, is especially in areas closer to Hatlettsville, starting to see a few pop up in areas of Hondo. And that's going to be the story, is if we see any rain today, it's going to be exactly that. Try to start, especially in Hondo, but it's really going to start to diminish and really just turn into a few sprinkles, maybe a quick shower, if that, today. And that's going to be the story throughout the day today, is we're going to continue to have about a 10% chance for some actual showers Temperatures, though, still getting to those 90s, so it's still going to be feeling a few degrees warmer, and it's still going to be feeling very humid and muggy throughout the rest of the day. We continue to decrease back to the 80s overnight tonight into tomorrow, but coming up, like I mentioned, we do have another chance of some isolated showers this weekend. It's about a 30% chance as we go throughout the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But the good news, we're drying out starting on Monday next week, and we have a big high pressure system arriving over us, and that's going to allow for us to dry out and especially help areas in the hill country with the first responders. I'll break down what you need to know for your weekend forecast with the rain coming up in just a bit.
All right, thank you so much, Shelby. Well, the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country announced it has received more than $30 million in donations in response to last week's deadly floods, which ripped through Kerr County.
The Kerr County Relief Fund was established on the morning of July 4th, 2025, and during a press conference earlier today, Austin Dixon, the foundation CEO, said over 100,000 individual donors made gifts in a matter of days.
We foresee a 5-phase recovery plan. Right now, immediate financial assistance, which you heard about today. More will be coming. We see a second phase related to cleanup of our community. We also see a third phase of repair of our community, which includes not only physical structures, but mending our hearts and mending our minds with mental health resources that we will need in the short, medium, and long term. We also see a rebuilding phase to bring back Hunt and to bring back these camps and to bring back Kerrville to what we need it to be. And then long-term recovery after that.
Well, Dixon outlined the foundation's plans to disperse $5 million in initial grants across 4 areas of need to local organizations supporting recovery efforts. Now, $1.25 million will be for direct support to individuals and families for cash and rent assistance and food cost.
Another $1.25 million will go to local businesses in no-interest loans and emergency cash grants. $1.25 million will go to first responder agencies.
And another $1.25 million will be set aside for crisis response. Well, in response to the devastating 4th of July floods, KSAT 12 KPRC in Houston and our parent company, Graham Media Group and Gray Media Incorporated, which owns TV stations across the country, have united to launch an urgent donation drive called Together for Texas.
You can scan the QR code on your screen and take you directly to the donation page. The campaign aims to support relief and recovery efforts for families and communities severely impacted by this disaster. All of the funds raised will go directly to on-the-ground efforts in the flood-affected areas through the Salvation Army.
The Salvation Army's emergency disaster services teams are actively working in the affected communities, providing meals, hydration, and emotional and spiritual care. They continue to call for more support to meet the growing needs there. So far, we have raised nearly $330,000, and we thank you again for your generosity.
So generous. And of course, we will keep that going nationwide. And also continuing is our team coverage. We once again have crews across the Hill Country today.
We have our Myra Arthur and Stefania Jimenez. They are live in Kerrville right now, and they're going to be there throughout the day.
Yeah, Stephanie and Courtney, we're out here, of course, in anticipation of the president's arrival a little bit later today. You just saw that he is in San Antonio, eventually making his way here to Kerrville. We're just steps away from the Guadalupe River off to my right. And behind Stephania and I are homes that were destroyed by the water that came thundering out of its banks 1 week ago today. My first time out here on Waterfront Street was Saturday. And I can tell you, we visited several times since, and the atmosphere here is very different now. There is much more activity. There are more cars on this street than I have seen to date in the aftermath of all of this. We know there are crews from across the state that are helping these homeowners clean out what they can, get rid of what they can, which is practically everything at this point. But we also know just beyond our camera view, there are searchers, there are crews going through all of that debris. Lots of men and women with shovels, with wheelbarrows, just doing what they can with ATVs. And you think about all the miles of river that are beyond our camera view here that they have had to search. Now they are finally making their way to this main spot in Kerrville, but they still have a long way to go.
And obviously, it's impossible to overestimate how hard all of these crews are working. We've been talking to some volunteers with the group called Restoration of Hope. They came here from Texarkana, and they're just a little bit behind us here. And they've been here since Monday. And, you know, you see the huge pile of debris that they've been able to remove from the house of just one homeowner. And they've been here all week. And they say that they're going to be here until as long as it takes. But you know, what's interesting is that at this point, we don't know if that reality has set in for so many of the people here. People here are in mourning. They're mentally fatigued, but they won't say that because they know that the priority right now is looking for all of the people who are still missing. We know that overall in Texas, that number is 166, but in Kerr County, 161 people have been declared missing, and 96 people in Kerr County have been declared dead.
I talked with a neighbor out here, Courtney and Stephanie, and he's somebody I met out here on Saturday. He said he went back to work. He was trying to get back to a sense of normalcy, but that cannot be found in Kerrville right now. He said even, you know, the buildings and businesses that weren't damaged, there is no sense of normalcy, and he estimated it will be years before that returns out here, guys.
Yeah, and Myra and Stephanie, while you're there, a lot of us have been in Ingram in the Hunt area. I know in Kerrville, things look a little bit different down by the river. They are not blocking off those roads, are they?
We haven't seen any roads blocked off here in the Kerrville area. And, you know, even people that we talked to earlier this week, they said it is weird. It is an odd sense because you go into Kerrville where there are businesses and on their main roads and you don't see any damage. It looks like business as usual. Cars are moving, you know, customers are coming in and out of places. But once you get down to the river, you see the scope of it. And even if people weren't living on the river, to that neighbor's point who talked to me about going back to work, everybody's been affected by this. But right now, people are moving in and around Kerrville pretty freely.
Yeah, and I spoke about an hour ago with a family of 4, and they came here after they tried to go into Hunt to bring in water and other supplies for first responders and volunteers. And they told me that they couldn't get into Hunt, and so they came here. And that's just a lot of what we're seeing. I also wanted to let you know that just in the last 15 minutes, I confirmed with Edgewood ISD because we saw one of their units out here. They're here. Police officers with Edgewood ISD, with that school district, are here. They're helping with the search. I spoke with the police chief moments before we went on the air, and he said that he brought a few officers with him they're all just rolling up their sleeves and helping in any way that they can.
Yeah, we saw that group literally get geared up with gloves and shovels and face masks and head down to where that search is happening, right close to this bridge here. And we know that obviously some roads will be closed down once the president makes his arrival. We've heard more sirens and things of that nature, but we'll keep you posted on that. For now, we'll send it back to you, Courtney and Stephanie.
All right, Myra and Stephanie, thank you. I know a lot of first responders out there, volunteers, and even residents looking forward to the president's visit today.
Yeah, and so many people are asking us how they can help. I think that was a really good example of don't just show up. Please, please, please heed the first responders. If you have equipment or you would like to help, definitely contact the Salvation Army of Kerrville and they will let you know what help they need. If you have items to donate, I know that a lot of them are being dropped at Ingram Fire Department, but definitely call those agencies to see what they need. And I know they do want help in a lot of ways, but because it's such a small area, an organized effort is much easier for them down there.
And we even heard it this morning that the Community Foundation out there is getting a lot of monetary donations, and that has helped tremendously as well.
All right. Well, thank you, Myra and Stephanie. They will be out there all day, so make sure you stay with us on our continuous coverage, especially as President Trump heads into the ravaged areas. First responders hard at work in flood-ravaged areas, but they're also waiting on President Trump's arrival. How they're feeling about this visit.
Well, as the week passed, we are now getting an inside look at some of the worst spots of damage along the Guadalupe River.
Our Devin Karp got to see how first responders are working in the conditions and what they have to say about President Trump's arrival to town.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, if you take a look behind me, you can still see people a week later are still trying to do these search and rescue operations, finding closure for families affected however they possibly can. And even though this looks absolutely devastating, there is much area just like this up the river here past Ingram. Now, we as media have not been able to go past that until now. I was able to go on a tour with a firefighter who's been here on the ground helping with search and rescue as he took me through some of the worst damaged spots to see what first responders and crews out in the field are doing. Typically what they're doing is using heavy machinery and equipment to try to lift up some of these trees, boats, pieces of houses to try to make sure that the river does not stay too shallow. In case there is more rain coming this way, the water will not rise as easy. But they are out here working in what he said are often grueling conditions. Hot sun, agitated wildlife. We've heard snakes have been an issue for some of these first responders, with about 300 people that are working on these kinds of things. They say that day after day, it is grueling, tiring work that leaves them drained mentally and physically, but they know it's the right thing to do. And when it comes to the visit of President Trump on his way right now to the area, it's something they say the more attention this place gets, the better.
So currently on our state and federal level, we've had very good response from our government and our politicians. We need them. They need us. We need to work as a team, and we are working as a team. Each division that's out here on the river has had the support that we need at this point. President Trump needs to see this. Him and Melania need to see this and see what we're going through out here.
Now, crews are going to be cycling in and out of the area throughout the next week, but they're going to be staying here indefinitely for as long as it takes. Reporting in Kerrville, I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
All right, Devin, thank you for that live report. And here's a look at Marine One on the way to Kerrville right now. As you know, President Donald Trump landed at Lackland Air Force Base at noon, pretty much on the dot. We have our crews. Sarah Costa is out there, and that is a shot there of Marine One on the way to all that devastation.
Good afternoon here on this Friday. You might be going outside and seeing a quick shower or downpour. This is not going to be what we saw last week. Today, this is exactly what we're going to see. What you saw in between areas of Laughlin, go through John Jay High School, and even going through Leon Valley currently, that's going to be it. Maybe just a quick shower or a quick downpour. By the time it starts to the time it's already starting to really weaken and diminish, it's not long lasting, and that's going to continue to be what we're seeing as there's just extra moisture coming up from the Gulf. It's another situation down just near Atascosa County, in between Jourdanton, Pleasanton, and even getting to the west of Falls City. And that's pretty much it today, is just mainly staying dry, just maybe seeing a quick shower or two. But tomorrow, that's when we have another chance and another potential of more pop-ups and finally drying out longer than just a day or two next week, starting on Monday, staying mostly sunny and dry. Now, I mentioned this earlier. This is what we're watching tomorrow. Not only do we still continue to have the potential for some showers, a quick pop-ups, but here, not only in San Antonio along I-10, but also the Hill Country, we have that marginal risk for the potential for some flash flooding. This is already because the ground, especially in the Hill Country, is just so saturated that any additional rainfall is going to have the potential for any localized flooding. So you are going to want to have the radar handy and ready for if you see any rain tomorrow. Now, throughout the rest of your day for your futurecast, we're going to continue to see just the potential for a quick shower, maybe a quick downpour at time, but that's going to be it. Mainly amongst I-35, maybe a few showers in the Hill Country, but by tomorrow, once again, we're going to continue to wake up with some cloud coverage. Now, this model doesn't exactly show you the potential for more showers and storms. The previous models did, but it already is still showing you the potential in areas of the Hill Country for just kind of that small little bullseye and up near Fredericksburg. Don't pay attention to the location or the time, but just know that there is the potential tomorrow to know that we do have the potential to see that quick shower, quick little downpour. The heaviest rain is actually going to be in areas of the Panhandle, going into Abilene near San Angelo, Midland. Now, closer to San Antonio, we are tracking the potential over the next 7 days to see some rain that does go up to the Hill Country near Junction and Kerrville, but it's going to be very isolated. Maybe an inch at most is what we're talking about for the potential, but we'll keep you posted. Like I mentioned, a 10% chance of rain today, 30% Saturday. Sunday, most of the rain starts to taper off, but we still kept about a 20% chance for just the potential of just any sort of shower and continuing to start to re-pop up. But otherwise, temperatures staying in those 90s as we head throughout next week. We'll be right back after the break.
Well, tonight, Fiesta Noche del Rio and the Alamo Kiwanis Club are coming together to help. A portion of the proceeds from ticket sales for tonight's and tomorrow night's performances will go toward flood relief efforts in Kerr County. In addition, Texas River Bar, the event's concession partner, will match a portion of the funds raised.
Tonight's performance is at 8:30 at the Arneson Theater, and it's the same for tomorrow's show. You can get tickets online at fiestanochesa.com. Well, in the next half hour, we are hearing from more people taking that call to help in the Hill Country, plus the simple steps you can take if you want to give back too.
Well, at this hour, President Donald Trump is on his way to Kerrville.
Yep, this is video from the top of the hour when the president landed here in San Antonio at Lackland. And the president's visit, just one of the major stories we are following today.
And our Myra Arthur and Stefania Jimenez are live in Kerrville right now.
Well, hello to you both. Yeah, we continue our coverage here in Kerrville, and this is Kerr County, where we have seen a majority of the deaths that have happened as a result of the deadly flooding that we saw exactly 1 week ago today. So right now we are on Waterfront, an area that Myra and I have visited a few times already. And obviously you see the work is still going on behind us. You have a number of volunteers who are helping homeowners clear out the debris. I've spoken with homeowners today who say that FEMA has already been here. No doubt they're expecting that relief to come through. The only question is when they're going to start to get that aid directly from FEMA so that they can clean up and just start to get some semblance of normalcy, although they acknowledge that's going to take years.
Yeah, and you know, there is a lot of red tape obviously involved in that process. It is a process, but right now the most immediate question is, where are those who remain missing? So many of them concentrated in this area. We told you earlier when we joined you that a search crew was just beyond our camera shot here going through a massive pile of debris. We checked in with them, some of them Edgewood ISD police officers who were down here helping in that search, and they told us they did not find anything here. They're taking a break, getting some food, some water, regrouping, and moving on to the next spot. And I have to say, I talked with a neighbor earlier on this street, Tim, and he was saying that, you know, we both agreed that we don't want the death toll to continue rising, but at the same time, you want these families to have some answers on where their loved ones are. And so many people have lost so much, but so many people right now are left with just some unbearable questions. You might hear a helicopter overhead. We are waiting for the president, as Stephania said, to make his way here to tour some of the hardest hit areas we imagine. We don't know exactly where he is going to be going, but as soon as he does get here and we have coverage of that, we'll bring it to you.
Yeah, and all we know is that he is going to be here for about 3 hours, and he's going to be meeting with local leaders here, and he's also going to be looking at some of the damage. So that's as far as what we know. He should be here for about 3 hours, and then he should leave. And the White House says that he's going to be back in New Jersey after this. Guys?
All right, thank you so much, Stephania and Myra. We know that you'll be out there all day and continuing that coverage of the president's visit.
Thank you. And we can't forget about the pets in need as well, how ATS is helping displaced animals. Well, these animals were brought in from Williamson County Regional Animal Shelter to help make room from all the displaced pets that we were seeing out there. So more than 100 volunteers showed up to help with more than 50 dogs and cats in need. Starting today, they will be flown to northeastern states and be placed for adoption.
I'm here because, there's so many displaced animals and they all need help, and so I just came out to help them out. It's amazing to see how many people came out. Yeah. And of course spending time with dogs is, one of those rewards. It's like they're.
And again, this is just a temporary stop for these pets. They're going to be flown to those states and placed for adoption. And as San Antonio Animal Care Services help out these furry friends, they are in need of volunteers, though. So in a press release, they say that volunteers can expect to help with preparing kennels for use, walk-in care for the pets, assisting with the kennel duties, and support for emergency response. Now, for more information, you can head over to our website at ksat.com.
Taking a look outside with live cam, we're still seeing a little bit of a break between that cloud coverage and the sunshine, which the sunshine is a bit of a relief for some people here in south central Texas. But we are tracking some isolated showers currently on authority radar. It's very isolated. The one just near Leon Valley is already continued to diminish. We're tracking some just on the southern side of San Antonio, but temperatures right now sitting comfortable in those 80s. Today's going to be another warm one in those 90s, 95 in San Antonio, but I'll break down your weekend forecast and how the rain chances pertain to that coming up after the break.
Wherever we are at, we can be for the people who are suffering. And wherever we are at, we can do something for others.
There's 18-wheelers, there's fire trucks, there's heavy machinery, first responders. Your vehicle obviously stands out. Did you just show up here?
Yes, yeah. Tim and I and my brother Tim, we drove all the way from Kyle, well, pretty close, but Kyle, and we saw what happened. We saw all the prayers going out, and it was just, we felt called to be here.
We got dinner out last night for 500 of the first responders and law enforcement. We're able to serve them beautiful, high quality, amazing meals. And it's that moment for them to be restored and refreshed and ready to go back out and continue doing unspeakable work.
We were deciding to say, well, it's flooded, we're not going to go to work. But just can't sit still.
No.
And thinking about this stuff, that people are out there. So, yeah, we're doing our part.
We need to have these places because they will work. That's what we unite. That's what we fight to be.
What compels you to do it? To drive across the country or across the state?
It feels good when you do something.
Everybody helping in their own way. Yeah. And if you or someone you know is still looking for help in the Hill Country, there are places to get free meals, help for those in need of medication, and temporary housing.
So many people care about you. We have a running list right now on ksat.com, and it does include information on FEMA and how you can apply for help.
And remember that you can just go to disasterassistance.gov. There's also a FEMA app that you can download to your phone, and you can also call the FEMA helpline. That number is on your screen, 1-800-621-3362. And this is from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Something we've been trying to highlight, as you saw in that story, scrolling through social media out there in the field, it's easy to find the helpers.
Yes, and from businesses to individuals, Texans know how to come together and help their neighbors.
An easy way that you can help, simply by going out to eat over the next few days. Lots of places donating proceeds. Bud Jones Restaurant donating 10% of all sales to flood relief efforts. It's over on the Southwest Military Drive. That includes dine-in and carry-out over this weekend.
Merit Coffee will donate 100% of proceeds from all coffee drinks at all 13 of its Texas locations. Now, Merit says the money will go to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund.
And Bandera Brewery will host a barbecue fundraiser on Sunday. It says 100% of the proceeds will be donated. On the menu, prime brisket, mac and cheese, elote, and jalapeno poppers.
Lost Bar and Grill on the Northwest Military will be giving back as well. So through Sunday, they say it will donate $1 for every 10 spent at its location.
And coming up on Monday, Pluckers Wing Bar will donate 20% of sales. It says the funds will go to the Texas Search and Rescue. And people that are part of the Pluckers Club will also be able to contribute by donating points through the end of the month. And we know P. Terry's last night had a big fundraiser. They sold out of food.
Yeah.
That's how much people are coming together. We know Cabo Bob's, we ordered in that first couple days. They did the same thing and the line was out the door. So people are really taking that call to help. So if you're one of those folks that, you don't have to donate hundreds of dollars, $1, $5, it all makes so much of a difference.
And it's so nice to see so many people help. And even the announcement today from the Community Foundation out of the Hill Country that they received $30 million.
Texans helping Texans.
Yes, that's what we do.
And I do have some good news. It is going to be relatively sunnier for most of us today. So it is still going to be able to have some help with the relief effort in the Hill Country. But this is a comparison. This is on the left side, July of 2022, when we really started to see the drought conditions take effect in areas of South Central Texas. Just note how dark brown and how dark it is. But just now, we've received 20 inches of rain, just let alone this year. And we're starting to really see the greenery in areas of South Texas. Now, like I mentioned, we just hit about 20 inches of rain here at the San Antonio airport just a few years ago, back in 2022, when it was so dry. We'd only had 5 inches of rain up until this point. Our average is about 16. So we did see a lot of rain, not only a month ago, tomorrow with the areas of Kerr County, but we also just a week ago saw the heavy rainfall in the Hill Country where sadly lives were lost. But we still saw a lot of the water from the rain and the creeks go into areas of the Guadalupe and even into some of our area lakes and reservoirs. So this is currently authority radar. We're not expecting a big washout. It is going to be very isolated. That one little bit of rain we saw in areas near Laughlin start already going through Leon Valley. Up near Leon Springs, it's really already started to just be a quick rain shower, if that. We're tracking another one just near Somerset, one just near Floresville, and that's going to continue to be the story today, is quick little showers and quick little downpours, maybe a quick shower or thunder or two tonight. And then tomorrow, I did switch weather models just so you can kind of see what I was talking about earlier with the potential for some quick showers in the Hill Country starting off in the morning. But really, we can expect some heavier rainfall at times for most of us here, especially in areas you see on the map. We're talking about San Antonio, Kerrville, Fredericksburg, all the way going up to areas of Luling and Gonzales. And I like how this one kind of shows you better of how isolated they're going to be and the potential we can see later on. Even after sunset, we're still tracking the potential for a few showers and thunderstorms. It is going to decrease once that sun sets because it's going to lose that steam and kind of that fuel to the potential for some showers. But once again, if you are in the Hill Country helping with some of the relief efforts, we're not expecting triple digits. Yes, we're still expecting the potential for some heavier rain on Saturday and Sunday, but at least it's not going to be triple digits. We are still watching, though, very closely to the potential for a few showers and downpours as we head throughout the weekend. But it was a good amount of rain that many areas across South Texas very much needed. Canyon Lake is up to 64% full. Medina Lake up to 5% full. We've been watching Lake Travis and Lake Buchanan as well in areas of central Texas because they also saw some heavy rainfall. In fact, Lake Buchanan is only about 6 feet under their conservation pool, and that just shows you how much rain we saw about a month ago to how much rain we've already seen now. Now, once again, I do want to show you the 7-day to reiterate. It's going to only be about a 10% chance of rain today, very isolated. Tomorrow and Sunday, it's about a 30 to 20% chance of rain for San Antonio. But as you head up to the hill country and even just to the east in areas of Gonzales and Luling, there is the potential for more chances of rain as well. But good news, we're drying out Monday and Tuesday. We're going to continue to see temperatures in those mid 90s, and we're also clearing out. Plenty more sunny skies for most of us here in south central Texas. Maybe a few showers potentially Sunday night into Monday, but otherwise just some cloud coverage throughout the rest of the week, and even for the foreseeable future, because we have an area of high pressure system continuing to make an impact here in areas of San Antonio, guys.
I believe we're going to a shot from ABC News. Okay, we're going to toss to break for now, but we did get word that the president has landed. Well, if you're just joining us now, we did get word that President Donald Trump did land in Kerrville. He arrived at Lackland at noon, and we're going to, of course, keep you updated throughout the day on air and online. But as we report on the updates on these floods, we are keeping those in mind who have been lost. And Reese Zunker and his wife Paula were victims of the floods in the Hill Country.
Their children, Lila and Holland, are still missing. Reese, very well known across the Hill Country, graduated from New Braunfels Canyon High School in 2007. And he was the head boys soccer coach at Tivy High School there in Kerrville. The tragedy of his loss has hit other local soccer communities hard.
Well, yesterday we did talk with Canyon head boys soccer coach Rob Rush, who coached Reese in high school. And we asked him why Reese was loved by so many.
He had a good personality. He genuinely cared about other people. I was talking to one of his buddies the other day about him, and Reese was, and it's cliche, but he was the type of guy who would give you the shirt off his back if you needed it, and I mean that describes him. He was a good guy. Never had issues with him as a player or as a student, and he just a good guy. And then when he became a coach, I know he took over a Kerrville team that hadn't been as successful, but he turned them around, and those kids respected him. I think the school respected him, the community respected him. He got a middle school program started because of Reese, and he wanted to do the right things.
Rob and Reese faced off on the pitch as head coaches, Tivy versus Canyon, and those are memories Rush will now never forget.
I actually probably enjoyed it more than coaching him because we got to compete, and before the games, of course, we would talk and catch up, and I got to meet his family a couple times in Kerrville when we went over there, and it was a lot of fun, especially competing against a kid that you'd already coached.
Well, you can hear more of this interview. This is tonight at 7, streaming on KSAT Sports Now, and we would like to thank Rob for talking with us during this very difficult time.
And as we've been telling you throughout the show, it's a big day. President Donald Trump is visiting Kerrville and the flooded areas. This is video from noon when our show started. This is Air Force One, Donald Trump's plane landing here at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio before taking off in Marine One for Kerrville.
And we know that he has landed Marine One in Kerrville, and a lot of people anxious to meet with him. We were told that he's supposed to get a look at all the devastation and talk to some Kerr County officials as well. And the president did announce last week, earlier in the week, that he did want to make a visit here to the area, the Kerr County area, to see that devastation. But he said he did not want to get in the way. But a lot of people looking forward to that visit today.
Yeah, and we have talked to first responders today and yesterday about this, asking about this visit, and they said even though, you know, there's a lot of security involved that comes with the president visiting, they want all the possible attention on this crisis as possible because they need all the help that they can get. And a lot of that comes in the form of monetary help. And they know when the president sees this devastation, his heart will go out to that. So they are welcoming this visit, and we hope that he gets to see what we've unfortunately been seeing for the last week.
Yes, and again, the shot there of Air Force One as it landed earlier at noon at Lackland Air Force Base.
We'll take a look at authority radar. We're still tracking the potential throughout the rest of your afternoon. Only a 10% chance, but the chance is still there for a quick shower or downpour. Temperature still getting into the 90s before more rain arrives this weekend. It's going to be scattered and even isolated.